Hello everyone, welcome to Seaside, Florida. Hi, my name is Luke. Usually on this channel, I beat up on American cities for being notoriously unwalkable and downright backwards. But today I'm actually doing the opposite. So Seaside, Florida is a master planned community over in the Panhandle in Santa Rosa County of Florida. It was designed in the 1980s with walkability at its core. And it definitely delivered. This model is a living, breathing example of urbanist success in a rather car-centric reality. Seaside is part of DPZ, which is an American development firm. They specialized in master plan communities, walkable environments, and what they call new urbanism. If anyone from DPZ sees this, please hire me one day. And Seaside is just one of their projects over in Santa Rosa County. They've also built Rosemary Beach, which blew up on Instagram and TikTok, as well as Alice Beach, which is like a all-white themed Antigua, Bermuda, dash of Moroccan influence. So back to Seaside. So the builders, Robert and Daryl Davis, they wanted to create a walkable, human-scale beach town, and they succeeded. As compared to the normal American town that looks like a corporate hellscape with endless parking lots, strip centers, Seaside was built for walkers, bikers, golf carts, and most importantly, people. If you notice the obvious differences, there are no giant parking lots. There are narrow streets. Everything is mixed-use zoning. They have a central town square, and there's walking paths everywhere. Also, foliage everywhere. Canopy coverage, so there's shade. It makes it an absolute pleasure to be outside as opposed to just baking in the sun with 130-degree ground temperatures. It's incredible to see people walking around and schmoozing and just being human. It's almost European. So Seaside is essentially a prototype for a new, old way to build towns. The walkable layout was heavily inspired by pre-World War II towns in America. Like, these towns existed like this. Like, this is what America looked like before we bulldozed it. I made a video on that if you want to go check that out. Many people in America are completely unfamiliar with infrastructure like this. And when they experience it, it just makes too much sense. I mean, just look at the housing prices here. It's almost when you make an environment for humans, humans will pay a lot of money for it. I'll get to the pricing in a little bit. But the first time I went to Seaside, I was in awe of how simple and charming it was. There was bikes everywhere, people everywhere. It feels like a little Europe in Florida almost. Also, it's a real breath of fresh air seeing local businesses thriving in a little environment, you know? Instead of just ExxonMobil's on every corner, Kohl's, Office Depot, yada, 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 the list goes on. Also, designing infrastructure like this just naturally reduces energy consumption. Fewer cars, fewer emissions, and more interaction with your neighbors. And also, it just keeps you in shape. In areas where walking and biking is a pleasure, you naturally see healthier people, less obesity, and longer lifespans. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that because there's just too much to talk about that right there. And it's not just walkability. Many homes in Seaside were constructed with passive design elements as well. These include things like large overhangs, big porches, cross ventilation for enhanced airflow, so you can catch a breeze without using the AC all the time. And yes, it is Florida, but it's the northern panhandle of Florida, so it does get cool. The biophilic design and working with nature give it a homey feel to it as well. It makes you feel like you can, one, tolerate being outside, and two, just connected to nature. I mean, who doesn't love a good canopy? I think it's crazy to imagine that, especially in Florida, developers just bulldoze the canopy, throw some palm trees, and think that'll do. Palm trees give no shade, as opposed to just working around the pre-existing mature trees that provide shade that we love and need. So yeah, they built a little European village in Florida. How cool is that? And it's one of the most desirable places in Florida. Just check Zillow. There's restaurants everywhere, there's food trucks, there's bike rentals, golf carts. It's a wonderful place to be. The architecture is similar throughout the entire village. They have pastel colors. It looks like kind of like a blend of modern meets Key West, Bermuda. It's hard to put an exact point on the design language, but apparently there is a specific style for this. It's called vernacular architecture, as per the architect's diary. Nice big porches, but smaller footprint to keep the density. To me, the only thing that's missing would be like a community solar infrastructure and some sort of livestock component to it as well, like chickens or cows. But the biggest issue with this place is because nothing is perfect. Because it's so walkable and desirable, it's ridiculously expensive. Similar developments like I talked about earlier, like Alice Beach and Rosemary Beach, are like ridiculously expensive as well. And unfortunately, these things just turned out to be little beach havens for the ultra wealthy. It's like we're kind of like making it so only the rich can afford to live in a walkable community and walk to go get a coffee. I mean, just look at New York. But it's expected when you're building an environment that is so different than all of the surrounding environments. I mean, look at Seaside and then look at your average Florida town. Home prices range from $2.7 to $4.4 million. In Rosemary Beach, it's around $3.7 million. And Alice Beach is getting up into the fives. It's because people want to walk. It's because they built an intentional environment. It's very different from this manufactured environment. I love that this exists for Americans to see and visit. But my issue is that local governments see how successful this concept is and don't do anything about it, or take any tips from the people who are doing it right. People and lawmakers love to be in places like this, but actively vote against everything that would make these places more available. Mixed use zoning, no more parking minimums, any kind of bike or walkable infrastructure. And now because of that, we have these development groups that have to build literal cities because we just can't figure out how to do it. They literally have to create a village from scratch just to show Americans that this kind of lifestyle is nice. Walkable infrastructure can and should be implemented in the United States. There's no reason for it not to be. Like, lawmakers, I'm talking to you. If you just vote to change things like this, we could all be walking to get a bacon, egg, and cheese. In conclusion, you have to check out Seaside and Highway 30A over in the Panhandle of Florida. It is so cool. It's a living proof that this walkable village aspect of life is desirable. It's a cry for help for Americans to change from this to this. They literally built the city just because they wanted to get a bite to eat with their neighbor. Thank you guys so much for watching. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. I know this is like 1,000 subscribers is not that much, but like, I'm really excited. And I definitely think that this is gonna change the trajectory of my life. So stay tuned for that. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Blah!